Hello and welcome to SCAN's Community Connections. I'm your host, Tom Hayes. I'm Director of Customer and Community Relations for New Jersey Natural Gas, and happy to be your host. So we've got a wonderful guest with us today, Tim Doerrier, who's a Program Field Specialist at New Jersey Natural Gas Company's Save Green program.
Yes.
So Tim, it's great to have you with us.
Great to be here. Thank you.
I get to see you in the office, and now I get to see you here. This is pretty cool.
Yes.
So Tim, tell us about what you do at New Jersey Natural Gas and about how long you've been with the company.
So I'm an energy auditor. I go out and actually provide energy audits to homeowners. Been with the company for about 8 years now.
Okay.
Just coming up on 8 years next month. The energy audits we do get fairly extensive, so the wealth of knowledge you have to create over the years can also be fairly extensive. So we don't tell people the wrong thing.
Yes, right. It's important. It's a very important work that you do and the whole team does. So, and I know how professional you and the rest of the team are in all the work that you do on a regular basis. So, again, kudos to you and your team. Appreciate all the hard work you do out there all the time.
Thank you.
So what's a great way for customers to learn how to save energy and money in their home?
So how do we do this? Sorry, just pause for a second.
Like when you do the audits and all that, do you go out and do audits in people's homes and really figure out what, you know?
Yeah, so we can do fairly extensive audits. We have several different types of audits. We can do different types of audits that can get fairly involved, where customers will want more of an in-depth, deeper dive to try to understand their energy loss, more providing energy savings.
Right.
Where they would actually pay us to come out to the house. So they're going to spend $49, and we're going to go out to the house, and we're going to set up a blower door. So that's a negative pressure door where we're going to set in the front door, and we're going to try to show how many drafts are actually present in the home.
Right, so it can show if the window's leaky or another door is leaky or some other vent is leaky, right?
A lot of people think it's just the windows, but there's a lot of other drafts in a home.
Yep.
Take a thermal camera, I can walk around, I can show a homeowner different points where we may actually have problems where they weren't expecting.
Right.
So trying to seal up some of those drafts and cracks and try to improve is almost an eye-opener for those homeowners. They're not aware of it.
Right. One of the things I learned years ago was even like outlets outside, outlets that are along outside walls or light switches along outside walls, right? That sometimes the breeze can come through those outlets. And in fact, we've been giving out outlet covers for decades, I think, to help people even control the heat loss there.
And one of the biggest surprises when people hear about the outlets, they assume it's only the outside walls. The inside outlets are another contributor to air leaks. So if the electrician drilled a 1-inch hole for a 1/2-inch wire and we now have an open hole to the attic, we want to try to slow down those air leaks. So those are, I'm going to say, low-hanging fruit, easier fixes for homeowners.
Right. And a lot of times that's what we're looking to do, is try to find those easier fixes that aren't too costly, that can save them a lot of money. It's the biggest bang for their buck in terms of really saving on their energy bill.
Absolutely.
And again, energy efficiency and saving energy is such a big, it's like a mantra for the company, which I always say is kind of funny. How many companies do you know out there that are working hard to help you use less of their product, right?
Yeah, it is one of those odd things to hear from a utility.
Yeah.
Inside that $49 audit, we're going to also give a homeowner a conservation kit. So LED light bulbs, foam gaskets to start the outlet process, maybe some power strips to reduce some of the energy that's consumed when it doesn't need to be.
Right. That's great.
Even low flow shower heads or aerators for faucets, something to even reduce the water usage in the home.
It's really, it's a great way. It's a great way to really get customers to understand what's really going on and how they can save. And again, a lot of folks have some ideas, but like you said, most people think it's just the windows. But there's so many other components to a home that could be leaking. So that's great that you're constantly educating them about how to save energy.
Yeah, and we're trying to give a fair understanding of the home. So we're looking at the equipment in the home, whether it's a heating system, a water heater, maybe an air conditioning system, the insulation, and we're trying to gauge the existing and maybe see where a homeowner can go in the future.
Right.
And then we have other programs or maybe offers we may be able to do something for them to try to help them out.
So speaking of that, what rebates or financing options are available to customers?
Well, with rebates if you upgrade a heating system, let's say a gas furnace, and you put in a 95% furnace or even a 90% boiler, we're going to offer a large rebate, up to $500 for that system. So $500 for a heating system, and then also rebates from an additional program through the Clean Energy Program. So they're going to be able to offer rebates from both sides. You can get rebates on a water heater through us, same with the Clean Energy Program. But we kind of stop there with rebates for gas appliances. So there's also rebates for air conditioning through a Clean Energy Program and other incentives.
Right, okay.
But when you ask about financing, financing is something that we can do on the electric and the gas side. So we can offer loans, a 5-year no-interest loan for a heating system, for a water heater. We can, if you're going to do an air conditioner, we can put that in the loan and actually extend that out over 5 years also.
That's incredible.
So 0% financing and still get some rebates.
Right.
Those are great options for the homeowner who may not have the funding in the account to take care of it.
Yeah.
You know, we're there to help.
That's incredible. It's nice that the company does look to sort of have that whole house approach to help a customer really take care of all those needs and do it at one time. Like you said, 0% interest, where do you get that, right? And to be able to build that all in like that is really spectacular.
The other side to the other thing we offer is thermostats. So a lot of people are hearing the newer technology out there with smart thermostats.
Mm-hmm.
Smart thermostats can truly save additional money on utility bills.
Right.
For the person that's on the go a lot or maybe coming and going, you know, if they're not going to be home, just trying to be able to set their thermostat from their smartphone it's a no-brainer to me.
Right.
And in the case of New Jersey Natural Gas, we have up to $150 off a thermostat through our website. So if a homeowner were to log into our website, they can purchase up to 2 thermostats at $150 off. They can buy a brand new Nest or Ecobee thermostat for only $19.
Which is incredible. Those are expensive items because the technology is remarkable for those. You know, I had 2 Nest thermostats put in my home, and it's just amazing because, as you said, I can set the temperatures from, you know, I don't know, another country. You know, it's all through your phone and all that. Plus, it sort of reads how you're operating every day, and it even self-adjusts some of it while you're just, you know, just because you're living there, and it's watching what you're doing, kind of. It's remarkable technology. I think it's amazing where we've come and the abilities to do those sorts of things. Because again, you could leave your home and say, oh shoot, I meant to turn the thermostat down. Well, the good news is you pull out your phone and you can turn it down right from your phone. So.
And let's say you missed that first month, or even you missed the whole first season. You can pull back an energy report from those thermostats and see a full linear graph that'll actually show you granular detail where you can really see where you're penalizing yourself, where you're letting your heat run when you don't need to.
Yeah.
So it can maybe correct you the next season.
It's impressive technology, and I think, you know, more and more people should really take advantage of it. And again, that's what we're all about, right? That's what your whole team is about, is Save Green is trying to get people to really lower their energy costs by saving that energy, and it's all good. And I think some folks, you know, don't believe that we're that good a company or you're doing that good a thing, but you really are. It's all about really helping folks save energy. And they should reach out because it's great information that they really could be very useful to them.
Yeah, on the $49 audit, we're going to probably spend anywhere from 1.5 hours to 2 hours in the home. You know, where are you getting that anywhere else you go? And we're not there to sell anything on the back of a truck.
Right.
We're there to truly give a homeowner a fair understanding of their home and give true recommendations of what they can do. Not what can't be done, what's hidden behind walls, what truly can be done and done at a reasonable cost where, you know, they can get their money back.
Right, and they could even, you give them a menu almost, right? They could probably choose and select certain things that they want to do or can do or maybe feel they can afford to do at that time. They don't have to do everything, but you're going to give them the whole gambit so they really know what the best options are.
Yeah, and you know, with the other programs we offer some loan programs. Mm-hmm. So let's say the homeowner, you know, wanted to do that loan. I mean, that in itself is great. If a homeowner hits a low to moderate income threshold, instead of 5 years, we can give you 7.5 years. No interest, and you're going to get rebates. So now it's even better for, you know, the homeowner that may not have the funding, that may make a little bit lower income. they may be able to fit into that threshold, and we're just there to help even further.
Right, which is great, and you think of all that savings, once they put that in, they're saving all that money from that point on, which is tremendous, so that's excellent. Now, I know that's a lot, we've been talking about residential, but you also have programs for the commercial side of the house, right?
Yeah, so with commercial, we have a few different types of programs. We have a Save Green on Main, which focuses more on your small business, your mom and pop, your little, maybe, key operated store. If it's a smaller business that's not, let's say the size of Google or Amazon or any of these crazy size stores, we can go in there and help them out with lighting or heating or cooling or air conditioning and try to fit them into a program where we can look at the whole building and try to reduce, their energy use. And we can give them a 5-year no-interest loan and pay a sizable amount of that money to that job.
That's incredible.
So it's there to help.
That's amazing, right? And when you think of our commercial customers out there that just feel like a lot of times that nobody's out there to help them, that we're there for them to really help them again, just like we do with our residential customers. It's very legitimate programming that really can help them save money and get the equipment that they need. And again, the no interest loans are that's unheard of.
Yeah, and there's some larger programs for the larger businesses, and we can look at across the state. Most of our customers are not that large business. They're the smaller business, maybe with 8 or 10 employees, that can fit, smaller heating systems inside their buildings. Those are the ones that would fit typically inside a Save Green on Main program for commercial.
Right.
But if there is a need for larger, we can help out with that also.
Okay. Now, is that a different program, or is that
Yeah, we have Smart Start programs, direct installs. We have
Okay.
a couple different options for that type of stuff. And what we're trying to do is we're just trying to understand what the needs are of the building. So we'll actually go out to the commercial building and do an assessment of the building, see what needs to be done.
Right.
And then if it's a Save Green on Main, we want to do a full audit. But if it's one of the other programs where we're looking at just a particular piece of equipment, we don't need to look at the whole scope of a building. We know it's only one piece of equipment that needs to be upgraded.
Right. That's great. I think it's really wonderful. And again, a lot of our viewers, maybe residential homeowners that could learn a lot about these programs. But of course, they work, or they know folks that work, or they may be business owners themselves. And it's really good to get this information out. And I know we do a lot of advertising and promotion through the company and bill inserts and all that. But this sort of opportunity is wonderful too, because then we get to hear right from you, the expert, how this all works. And you make it sound so easy in a sense, because that's the whole goal, is we want to make it easy for our customers, right, to get that, to take advantage of these wonderful programs.
Yeah, the loans themselves are great. The financing is fantastic. The rebates are going to help out, but making a house more comfortable, that doesn't put dollars to it. It's comfort is one thing that you just can't equate. So tightening up a house with air leaks and adding more insulation, that goes farther than probably putting in windows or upgrading your siding or doing something that's cosmetic that you can't see.
Right.
But truly, those things, the attic insulation, the air sealing, those things are going to really help you live more comfortably inside your home.
Right. Now, if folks wanted to reach out and get more information, what's the best way to do that?
They can go on our website, savegreenproject.com, which is certainly user-friendly. You can click on homeowners, you can click on business owners, you can click on our marketplace for our thermostats. So, it's very easy to navigate. Our phone numbers are clearly listed there. That's the easiest way to contact us.
Great. Well, Tim, I want to thank you for your time. Really appreciate this great information. I'm sure our viewers are going to really take this to heart and hopefully make some calls or get on the internet and look up that information. So thank you for your time. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, and thank you to our viewers. We hope you stay with us after this short commercial break. We'll be right back.
At the Save Green Project from New Jersey Natural Gas, we're bringing you rebates and incentives, including 0% APR financing, right on your natural gas bill to help make energy efficiency affordable. And with the possibility of no upfront costs and special incentives for moderate income customers, investing in equipment upgrades doesn't have to be out of reach. Go to SaveGreenProject.com for details on available rebates and incentives to help you upgrade to energy-efficient HVAC and water heating equipment. You could also be eligible for thousands of dollars in incentives for seal-up and insulation fixes. In the long run, you could be saving money on your energy bills too. Visit us at SaveGreenProject.com. That's SaveGreenProject.com.
All right, welcome back to SCAN's Community Connections. Again, I'm your host, Tom Hayes, and I have another wonderful guest for our second portion of the program, and that is Sheila Martello, who's the founding director and, make sure I got this right, certified grief services provider of Stephy's Place.
Yes.
Okay, well, welcome. It's great to have you here with us.
Nice to be here. Thank you.
Absolutely. We appreciate you taking the time out of your busy day to talk to us about your wonderful organization.
Of course.
So, I guess the first question would be, what is Stephy's Place and what services do you provide?
Stephy's Place is a support center for grief and loss. We provide support groups to anyone that has lost a loved one. Groups for loss of spouse, loss of a child, loss of a sibling, adult loss of a parent. We also have groups for people that have lost someone due to suicide and overdose, as well as life after divorce.
Okay, wow. That's a lot of different organizations. You really run the gambit, right?
Yeah. We think it's important to provide
Sure.
the services for anyone that's lost a loved one.
Yeah, that's amazing, because a lot of times, as we know, it's hard to come by these services or, to get the right help that you need, and sometimes that's exactly what you need, is to be with some support group, to have others that are in a similar boat that can explain what they're going through and get the guidance and support from an organization like yours in the midst of all that.
Yeah, absolutely. When you lose a loved one, it's important to get the support from other people. And when we decided to open Stephy's Place, we looked for other organizations for adults that had grief services, and we couldn't find any.
Wow, that's incredible. So if somebody is needs these services, what's the process of joining these groups?
Well, to join Stephy's Place, the best way is to look at our website,
Okay.
which is www.stephysplace.org, or you could call us. And if you go on the website, there's a form that you fill out, and it just asks you the person that you lost, the type of loss, the date of the loss, just some information that we can go on to be able to put you into the correct group. Or if
Right.
you call, we do the same thing. We do a short intake over the phone, get that information, and then you're put into a group.
That's great. And I'm just curious, because you have all these different groups, and are they all throughout this area?
Oh, yes. We
Okay.
are located in Red Bank, right on West Front Street. Everything is right there in
Okay.
our center. We started 5 years ago it'll be 5 years in September, with one group, and now we have 39 groups. So the groups meet during the day and in the evening, and they're just continual throughout the day. We're open Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays.
Okay, that's great. Now, who runs the groups, and how long do they actually last?
Okay, so the groups are run by trained facilitators. The facilitators we're not counseling. It is, we call it peer group leading, companioning the bereaved. So if you were in one of our groups, your facilitators, usually there's two, we like it when there's two, will be other people that have suffered the same loss as you just
see.
years ago. And they're trained by me. And the groups last, it depends. You could be in group for 2 years, you could be in group for 3 years. It just depends on you. Some of the other programs that we did find that were a little bit similar were run by the hospitals or maybe churches, and they last 8 to 10 weeks. So in our experience, after we had lost our loved ones, 8 to 10 weeks, you're not even hitting the surface of the loss. So ours are open-ended.
Wow. And I know I had read a little bit of your bio, but you had your own personal loss. So you okay to talk about that, just
Yeah,
so folks understand your background a little bit there?
Absolutely. My husband, Jim, died. It'll be 19 years in September. He died in the attack of the World Trade Center. We had just moved here 10 days prior to his death. I had 2 little boys, 5 and 7, and he went to work and didn't come home. But I was lucky enough to be provided a support group at Holy Cross Church in Rumson, and there were probably 25 to 30 of us there. And we stayed together for pretty much 3 years. So 14 years later, when I met Steffi, who Steffi's Place is named after, I wanted to be able to give back to the people in this community what we were given and what wasn't available. It was available to us, but our loss was no more profound than my sister's husband, who died 5 years after mine. But I was provided a support group because we had lost so many, and everyone wanted to come out and help us, and we appreciated that. But it would be nice, I thought it would be great to give back.
Right. That's great, because that was a very unusual and remarkable situation, 9/11, right? Because the whole country and the world had such an outpouring of support, and there were so many dollars and so much given towards it that, as you said, you were able to get the support you needed, which is wonderful, but many others don't get that opportunity. So thank goodness for folks like you that appreciated what you got and realized there was such a strong need that you turned that around and years later created this wonderful organization that helps so many people.
Yeah, we're helping a lot of people.
That really is remarkable, and I really kudos to you for not only thinking about it, but taking the steps to actually make it happen.
Yeah, and I didn't do it alone. I went back to my support group that I had years before and asked them to help me, and everyone joined in, and the majority of the people that opened Steffi's Place with me were all lost their loved ones on September 11th, and now we've grown to 55 volunteers. So we have lots of volunteers that have lost their loved ones over the years and want to help.
That's amazing.
A lot of them have been with us. They started 5 years ago, and now they're facilitating groups, which is really great to see because they're examples of hope for the people that are just coming in.
Right, and it's so necessary out there. So if somebody out there, one of our viewers is watching and they're considering something like this, what would you tell them?
Well, I would tell them that not to feel bad because they probably have no desire to come to a group and pretty much open up about what has happened in front of a bunch of strangers. So they're not alone in that. Mostly everybody feels that. No one's really has a lot of experience in support groups. So know that you're not alone, but know that grieving in community is very healing. To be able to be with other people that get it is so helpful because it just is that we live in a very mourning avoidant society where after a couple of months they're thinking you should be over it or what's wrong with you, you're still crying.
Back on the bicycle and off you go.
Exactly, and grief isn't clinical. So you need the support of other people that get it, that have been through it to help you. And that's what you'll find at Steffi's Place.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's really important. And it's just, again, very comforting to know that there's great people like yourself and your team members that are doing this nice work to make sure that the rest of our community can get that kind of help. It's critical. So other than the groups, do you provide any other services?
We do. Just this year, we've added a resource person. So what we had found is that when sometimes people need one-on-one therapy as well as group, and when people would go out to find a therapist, they were having a hard time. They didn't take their insurance, they weren't seeing new patients, the whole thing. So now we have a resource person, and she will talk to the participant that needs the help, and she'll go out and find 3 people that take their insurance and are taking new clients, and then give the information to that participant, and then they can go and do their due diligence to find
which one
the right
works, they
person.
feel
But
is
it
best for
takes,
them.
it saves a lot of time.
That's incredible. It does save a lot of time, and I'm sure a lot of people give up. They don't even get that
Yeah,
far
yeah,
because
you hit a dead end
you
and-
feel like it's over, and
Yeah.
nobody cares, and you're stuck with your grief, and you have that feeling of helplessness on top of it.
Exactly.
And I would imagine for parents that have children going through issues and all those sorts of things, it's like these services are so critical to everybody's well-being. It really affects the whole household, right? So. Often those of us that are out in the community and looking at all these things, we say, insurance companies and others that limit so much when you really know that if they were to provide these services in an easier manner, it would be so much better for everybody, including the insurance company would probably have less issues if they could take care of these issues right up front, right?
Right, absolutely.
Yeah, that's tricky stuff. What advice would you give someone who wants to be a support a griever or help somebody in that manner?
Okay, so if you know someone that has lost someone, the worst thing to say is, "How are you?" The head tilt. You know, how are you? That, you know, it puts people kind of they're not good, right? It would be easier to say, like, "It's so nice to see you," right? That just makes people more comfortable.
Right.
Do something. People say, "Let me know if you need anything." Just do something. Go. When I lost my husband, I was new to the community. Somebody came and just decorated my front porch with mums. A guy next door came over and said, "You know what? I'm going to take your car to have the oil changed. Come in and change the air conditioning filters. Like, cut the grass." Just do something, because
Right.
the griever is spending so much energy probably taking a shower.
Right.
That and taking care of their kids if they have children, to think about then what they need. So we know what they need. Bring a meal over. You know, if you see them out, don't avoid them. It's the worst thing when you walk into a room and you know people are looking at you or talking about you. "Oh, that's the one that just lost her husband." Just go up to them, even if you don't know them, and say, "You know what? I know of your situation, and I just wanted to let you know that I'm sorry." It's okay.
Right.
But people are uncomfortable, and we know that. But the more comfortable you get with grief, the easier it is. So just try it, you know.
That's great. That's great advice, because I think most of us would say, "Let me know if you need anything." It feels like you're trying to be helpful.
And you are.
And right, and you are. And you don't want to impose on them in a sense or force yourself on them. But on the other hand, they're not going to ask, because they're probably, most people, first of all, they're grieving. Secondly, they may not feel comfortable doing that. But if you just show up and you've done something, then it's done, and they can appreciate it, and you could have helped.
And they will appreciate it. They will appreciate it.
That's good to know. That's a really good advice. I don't think we often hear that sort of advice, often. So I appreciate your saying that to not only myself, but of course all our listeners. We seem to be losing many people to both suicide and overdose. That seems to be the current ongoing theme now. Do you have groups to really help families with those issues?
Yes, we have specific groups for people who have lost their loved ones to suicide. And we also are the people that have lost to addiction. They're in our loss of child groups, but we now have once a month a therapist that comes in. Her name's Dr. Jean Hager, and she comes in and she speaks specifically with those people that have lost children to addiction, and they talk about stigma and things that are specific to that. Little, some education, and it's really, really helping them.
That's great. Now we're closing in. I want to say again, just if people wanted to reach out to you, what's the best place?
Our website, yes, stephy'splace.org.
stephy'splace.org.
Right.
All right. And it's great. Again, I appreciate it. We didn't even get through all the questions, but appreciate all that you're doing for the community, and it's been a pleasure having you with us.
Thank you. It was a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
And thank you to our viewers. We appreciate it and look forward to seeing you at the next program.